வடிவேல் அணி சேவல் என பாடும் பணியே பணியாய் அருள்வாய் தேடும் கயமா முகனை செருவில் சாடும் தனி யானை சகோதரன். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். பொய்கண்டார்கான புனிதமெனும் முத்துவித மெய்கண்டநாதன் அருள் மேவனாள் என்னாலும். திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். அண்ட சராசரங்களுக்கெல்லாம் அதிபதியாக விளங்கக்கூடிய முருகப்பெருமானுடைய ஒப்பற்ற பெரும் கருணையினாலே த பிலாசபி ஆஃப் சைவ சித்தாந்தம் என்கிற தலைப்பில் நாம் இன்றைய தினம் தி அல்மைட்டி என்கிற தலைப்பிலே பதி என்கின்ற முழுமுதல் பொருளினுடைய செய்திகளை சிந்திக்க திருவருள் கூட்டியிருக்கிறோம். In Saiva Siddhantam, there are three basic entities, and any object in this world can be categorized in one of these three broad classifications. Out of the three, the soul and the Almighty both are wisdom based, whereas the third entity, Anavam, the bondage or the blockage between these two, is an inert power. Doesn't have any wisdom, but it is very powerful. It has covered the entire wisdom of the soul, and so the soul is itself as darkness, and in Tamil it is called a Kevala Nilai. On seeing the soul's suffering in the grip of darkness, the darkness can be otherwise known as the ignorance, because the wisdom doesn't help the soul because of the Anavam coverage. So the wisdom itself is masked, covered entirely by the darkness called the Anavam. The soul itself looks like an inert object. There are innumerable souls are there suffering like this, and the Almighty, the one with the enormous wisdom, incomparable wisdom, unequalable wisdom, the pure wisdom, which cannot be distorted, which purity can be disturbed, whose purity can be disturbed. It cannot be thought of being the purity of the wisdom disturbed by any other thing in this world. So pure, incomparable, unequalable, enormous wisdom that the Almighty possesses, and it comes forward to help the souls to come out of the suffering because of honor. See, if the wisdom of the soul is not clear, the soul will be suffering. So the only way to liberate the souls from the sufferings is to clear its wisdom, to make it pure, and to be as the wisdom of the Lord Shiva. Of course, we are talking only about the purity of wisdom, not the capability or the capacity of the wisdom. As far as capacity or capability is concerned, the soul's wisdom cannot be compared to that of the Almighty, But as far as purity is concerned, if the soul's wisdom is made pure, if it is liberated from the grip of the darkness, and if it is pure, then it qualifies itself. The wisdom, because of the wisdom, the soul is qualified to be under the cover of the Almighty. So far it was under the cover of darkness, now it can be coming under the cover of the Almighty. Originally under the cover of the darkness and ignorance, Anavam, it suffered like anything. The souls were suffering like anything. Now once it comes under the covering of the Almighty, once the soul comes under the protection of the Almighty, then the souls not only feel safe, but the souls are enjoying the bliss of the Almighty. The Almighty is ready to offer its joy to the souls, but the souls are not qualified to be joyful with the joy offered by the Almighty. What is the disqualification? The disqualification is nothing but the Anavam, the Anavam that has covered the human wisdom, or the wisdom of the soul, not only human, any soul, its wisdom is covered, is encompassed, or it has been what can we call that? It was dominated by the darkness. This domination should be removed, and it cannot be done over a night. It takes a longer time, very long period it takes. That is why the souls are taking so much of births to come out of the grip of the darkness. So the Almighty forms or stipulates a project in which the souls can come out of the suffering. How can it be done? The project runs like this. See, out of the darkness, if the souls are to be released, first of all, the souls should be assisted to be active, because they are not active, they are inactive in the darkness. They should be made first active. How can they be made active? The souls are active, they have been using the wisdom because of the three impulses. The first impulse is the desire. The second impulse is to plan to quench the desire, and to execute the plan is the third stage. So there are three impulses called Ichai, Jnanam, Kriya. Three impulses. They are basically constituting any action of the soul. If the soul is to be active, first of all it should have a desire. Now it should plan for the desire. Now it has to execute the plan so that the desire can be achieved practically. So desire is in the theoretical form, action is the active form of the desire. So we may be planning so many things. So the planning may not be sufficient unless otherwise we execute the planning. The planning doesn't pay anything. If we may desire so many things, we may plan so many things, but if we don't execute them, what is the point in desiring or planning? So the project runs like this. There are basically three impulses required for the soul to be active. Now the impulses are inherently produced in the soul, but in the grip of in the grip of Anavam, darkness that has been covering the wisdom of the soul, these three impulses are not at all triggered and the soul is not active. So to make the soul active, these three impulses are to be triggered. If they are not triggered internally, they have the capacity of triggering this, but this capacity has been masked by the darkness called Anavam in the wisdom. So the Almighty has decided to help the soul externally triggering the impulses to make the soul to desire, to make the soul to plan, to make the soul to be executing the plan so that its desire can be achieved. So likewise the project starts. He gives the external triggering agents. They are called tattvams. These tattvams, they are extra fittings, externally made available for the soul to be used. So first of all, the soul has a first stage of covering it with these three pulses in the form of a blanket. In Tamil it is called kanjugam. It's like a body over the soul. It's like a body over the soul. It's kanjuga sariram. It is made up of 5 basic constituents. By 5 basic constituents, the blanket has been made. It has been woven out of these 5 basic details. First detail is kalai, which triggers the desire. The first tattvam or the first trigger is called araham, which triggers the desire. Then the second impulse that has been triggered externally to create the planning capacity, that is called jnanam. That is called jnanam, externally triggered. And the third one is to execute the plan. Ichai jnanam, that is called kriya, execution. That is called kalai. Now kalai, vittai, araham. Araham is the desire. Then vittai is the planning capacity trigger. And the third one is kalai, the execution part. That is called kriya. So 3 impulses are externally made available to the soul's wisdom so that the soul can be active. Along with these 3 impulses, 2 more details are added to this blanket. One is the period for which these facilities are available, and the other one is the details or the entire schedule. We can call it as a schedule. The schedule of the particular birth. So the period of the duration of the birth, the duration of the birth, and along with it the schedule of the birth, both of them both the details are added to these 3 basic pulses, and it is available as a blanket for the soul. Now the soul is called with the blanket as purest. This is called kanjuga sariram. So the Almighty helps the soul to get a blanket of these basic 5 details. Okay. Now you first of all understand, even though there are number of souls, innumerable souls, countless souls, there is only one Almighty which is helping the souls. Even though there are number of souls, the souls are not countable. They are innumerable. But the Almighty is only one Almighty which is helping the souls. So there is only one soul, innumerable souls. There is only one Almighty, innumerable souls. Padi ondru, Pasukal, Yeralam. For innumerable souls, nobody has made an audit of the number of souls. If nobody can do it and nobody knows about it, there are countless souls are there. But there is only one Almighty helping them all. You just imagine the capacity, the power of the Almighty. The power of the Almighty is immeasurable. It is beyond our scope of knowledge. It is beyond our scope of wisdom. We cannot even imagine it. It's beyond our imagination. So much powerful. Mudivil Arthal Udamai. That is called one of his qualities. There are 8 qualities of the Almighty. The Yengunathan, Thalai Vananga Thalai. That's how the Tirukural runs. So, Almighty is coming forward to help the soul suffering in Anavam. There is only one Almighty, Undrepadi. There are innumerable souls. The souls are going to be helped by the Almighty. They are in the darkness, they are in the grip of Anavam. Almighty has come forward to help the souls. If the Almighty is to help the souls, it has to come down from its level, because it is in the highest level, maybe in the highest level. It comes down, it reaches the rock bottom where the souls are reachable. Souls cannot come up, they cannot reach the God, but God only has the mercy of reaching the soul. Souls cannot reach the height, but Almighty, because of its mercy, immense mercy, it comes down, it goes to the level of the soul to help it. Souls are in the darkness, they are to be removed. That is the motto of the project. The wisdom of the souls are to be made pure, so that once it is made pure, it qualifies itself to combine with the wisdom of the Lord Shiva. Even though it combines with the wisdom of the Lord Shiva, it will be only in the receiving end, and the God Almighty's wisdom will be delivering end. It delivers the joy. The soul's wisdom receives it, enjoys it, and in a full-fledged manner. You understand, if the purity is restored of the soul, if the sufferings have been removed, if the soul has been made pure with its wisdom, it cannot be compared with the wisdom of the Almighty. As I already told you, there are innumerable number of souls, but there is only one Almighty which can help all the souls at the same time. So such capacity of the Almighty's wisdom cannot be thought of as the wisdom of a soul. Soul wisdom will become pure. It will be fit enough to combine with the wisdom of the Almighty. Once it comes in contact, combines, then only it will be able to receive. That is why it is called as Atvidam. Atvidam means they are together, but they are not the same. They are together. They may be inseparable, but in quality wise they are different. Kalappal ondru, tanmayal veru. That's how in Tamil it will be explained. They may be together, but they are still different. They are still different. Of course, now the soul's wisdom is pure and it deserves to receive the bliss of the Lord Shiva. So now what we have been discussing is the project of the Almighty. The Almighty has come forward to help the souls. Now it has come forward to help the soul, but at the same time it has come down to help the soul. It has come down, it has reached the very bottom level to help the soul. So you must understand not only the power of the Almighty, but the mercy of the Almighty. People may be mercy, but they may not have the power to help you. People may be powerful, but they will not be mercy enough. They will not be merciful. So, if somebody is to help us, they should satisfy these two conditions. They should be merciful, and at the same time they must be powerful. If you go and surrender to a person who is merciful but not powerful, the surrender may not be useful, because he is merciful but not powerful, but he will be overcome by somebody else, and that will not be useful to you. So whomever we surrender, that person should be merciful and also powerful. The Almighty is the only most powerful and most merciful. So instead of surrendering ourselves to the worldly people whose powers are limited, they are constrained, they are having their own constraints, and they cannot give us the full protection or full surrender capacity or usefulness. But whereas the Almighty is so powerful and so merciful, we may surrender ourselves to in 100% to the lotus feet of the Almighty. That is why Almighty's power should be understood and its mercy should be understood, and then only we will convince ourselves that He is the fittest person, He is the only person to whom we can surrender. He is doing all sorts of helps without our asking. See, an infant never summons to its mother to feed the milk for its hungry. For it is hungry, it will not submit itself to the mother. Give me milk. It will not submit. It will not ask. It will not even know to ask. But the mother infers that the child requires milk now. The child requires medicine now. Under the full observation, the mother understands the needs of the child, and the mother satisfies or convinces all the needs. Likewise, God is our mother. He knows each and every soul's needs. He knows the maturity level of each and every soul. Okay, now we have been discussing about the project that the Almighty has taken up to help the souls. Why the God Almighty should help the soul? Because the soul is in the total ignorance. Its wisdom is in the total ignorance and it is suffering. So to help the soul, the God has come down. Why we are saying coming down? Are there height level differences? No, not at all. No, not like that. It's not a difference in heights we are talking about. It is difference in quality levels. God has come down to the level of the soul because the soul cannot come up. That is why God has come down. That we are saying that He is coming down. He is coming down means you should not virtually think that He is up somewhere in the up. and he is coming down. Likewise, don't imagine yourself. God is everywhere. God is everywhere. He is up, he is in the downstage, he is on the sides, everywhere he is there. What we mean by he is coming down means he is reducing his level of dignity, level of quality, level of maturity. Everything he is sacrificing, he is coming down to a level, he assumes forms so that the souls can understand and reap the harvest or reap the yield from the God's mercy. Okay. God has decided to help the soul. He has understood that the soul's wisdom has been tarnished, has been covered by the anavam, the darkness. So God is planning the darkness should be removed. To remove the darkness, the soul must be made active. If the soul is to be made active, its wisdom should work. If its wisdom works, then the three impulses, desire, planning, execution, will also work. But since the wisdom has been covered by, masked by the darkness, these three impulses are not working. So he is using external agents to trigger the three impulses, and they are called Kalevite Araham. And he is putting the blanket along with the time, duration, and the schedule along with it as a full blanket. The soul has been covered and called Purdan, and now Purdan is ready for the treatment. What is the treatment now he is going to do? Okay, he desires, the soul desires, the soul plans, the soul executes. For its a desire, what should do desire at all? Only then, if there are objects, there are things to be desired, then only it will desire and plan and then execute. Okay. Now to create the targets for the desire, the God has created the world out of Maya. The God has created the world, universe out of Maya. Maya is also another form of power. It is also a form of power under the control of the Almighty. That is the difference. It is his control. So he makes things out of the Maya. He creates the world and objects. So that there are two types. So there are two types of worlds. The sections. One is made out of sound. Another one is made out of the articles, objects. One with the forms. You understand? So Oliyum, Oliyum. Oliyum, Oliyum means Nadam, Vindu. Nadam, Vindu means Nadam, sound, Vindu, light. Light gives the forms, Nadam gives the sounds. So the whole world is made out of sound and light with a very high frequency, sound and light. Very high frequency. The frequency levels are brought down to a lower level to be usable in this universe. You understand? Okay. Now, he creates the universe for what? For the souls to be active. To be active. Now the external pulses are given. The souls are started. They are becoming functional. How it functions? How can he contact with the universe? So, what he does is, the soul should reach the universal aspect, universal objects, the sound, so it should be reachable. So, for that, God is providing the soul so much of the equipments, external equipments. They are called tattvams, tools. We may call them as tools. You think of the human body now. The human body is the external body that is directly in contact with the universe. The human body can be compared to a transducer. For example, a mic. The mic is a transducer which converts the sound into pulses or electromagnetic signals, and they are transmitting to the amplifier for necessary processing and amplification. Likewise, the transducers are fixed up in the Thula body. Thula body, visible form. The form means uruvam, visible. You can see. Now, once they are converted into pulses which are not visible, there is another body which is given to the soul for processing the pulses. For processing the pulses. The pulses, for processing the pulses, for processing the details. You understand? For processing the details. You understand the human body, the external body, which is directly in contact with the universe, and then another body which is Sukshamam, which cannot be visible, which is not at all visible. It is inside that, covering the soul at the same time, but it forms a bridge in between the soul and the external body. External body can be compared to a transducer. The Sukshama body, inside body, another body, which is the bridge, which is bridging between the soul and the external body. It can be compared to a processing unit like an amplifier. It's a processing unit. So it has been given 8 tools there, the processing body. In the human body, you have about 21 or 20 tools. There are almost 20 tools in the external body. There are 8 tools in the bridging soul body. Already we have discussed 5 tools in the soul covering it. Now count actually 24. 24, it includes 20 external tools, out of which 5 basic elements: land, water, fire, air and sky. 5. And then 5 senses, let us say eye, nose, tongue, ear, skin. 5 plus 5, 10. Then another 5 external tools: tongue, hand, leg, and then there are 2 other things which have been given by the Almighty to one for removing the wastage, from our body, and at the same time to enjoy the human body He has given. To enjoy the human body He has given. That is called Karuvai. Another one is the Eruvai. So there are 5. So 10 plus 5, 15. I think next we can give the chart for this. I think now the charts are prepared by Mr. Saravanan and Mrs. Saravanan. We will get the charts, and next session I will explain the charts themselves. The charts themselves. Okay. Now there is an external body. There is an internal body. The external body is visible. The internal body is not at all visible. It is Sukshamam. There are about 15 elements, 24 elements together with the external body and the internal body. Internal body is made out of 8 tools, and there is one more tool. It's 15 plus 8, 23, and there is one tool called Siddham, that is an internal arrangement connecting the two bodies with the Kanchiga Sarira, I told you, blankets body. So the total about 31 tools have been given to the soul for the project. I do not know whether I am very clear about the 31 tools, unless otherwise I make a pictorial presentation. I may not be very clear enough to describe, because they have not been given in a clustered form. They have been distributed over 3 bodies. As a matter of fact, the third body is made up of 3 bodies again. So totally 5 bodies, 5 udalgal, kosam. Each soul has been given 5 kosams, 5 bodies. That is why 7 temples are with 5 arms, praharams. They are surrounded 5 arms, praharams they are called, praharams. If you go to a temple, Veli praharam, Ul praharam, likewise Artha Mandapam, Karuvarai, likewise it goes. Inside Karuvarai there is Sivalingam, that is nothing but our soul. In the Sivalingam, within the Sivalingam, Shivam is there. Likewise, within the soul, Lord Siva is there. That is the indication of the temple. The 5 bodies are represented by the 5 praharams. In the Karuvarai, the last section in a temple, you may see, to indicate there is a Vimanam, called Vimanam. The top of the tower. Atop the temple you will see a top. It is called a Vimanam. The crest, as a matter of fact. The summit or the tip, whatever you call. In Tamil, it is called a Vimanam. It is just above the Sivalingam. Likewise, you understand, the soul is the Sivalingam, Atma Lingam, and within the soul Lord is there. Likewise, in the temple, within the Sivalingam, Shiva is there. So once you go to temple, if you see the Lord, if you see the Sivalingam, you must understand that you are worshipping the Lord within yourselves. You are worshipping the Lord within yourself, because He is helping you throughout 24/7. Throughout the day, even when you sleep, He is guarding your soul. So the temple is nothing but our body. The Shiva temple is nothing but our body. It can be compared, every inch of it can be compared to the human body. Every inch of the temple can be compared to every inch of human soul. Okay, we have been discussing the project taken up by the Almighty to liberate the souls out of their sufferings. This is the main aim of the project. God has taken up a project, the Almighty has taken up a project. Almighty is the only one, Ekan is the only one, incomparable, unequal, most powerful, omnipresent, omnipotent, whatever you cannot imagine His qualities. Our wisdom is not enough to measure His qualities, His power. If you want to measure the depth of the ocean, can a 1 foot ruler, will it be enough for us to measure the depth of the sea? Or if you have a meter tape, is it enough to measure the distance between you and the sun? Not at all. See, human wisdom is incompetent enough. It's incompetent. It's not competent enough to measure the power of the God or the quality of the Almighty. The Almighty, the most powerful, the most merciful, He has given all the tools and He is having a foolproof project, and the project is going on. So understand, whatever you get, you are getting it out of the mercy of the God. Nothing is owned by you. You don't have the right to ask for it. It is being offered out of the mercy by the Almighty. So the soul has been given external tools in a distributed manner, in 5 bodies, in a distributed manner. The whole soul has been given the tools. Why the tools have been given to the soul? Though to make the soul to be active. To make the soul to be active, to make the souls to be doing something, to make the soul to desire, to make the soul to plan, to make the soul to execute. All these tools are provided, are gifted by the Almighty. Almighty has gifted this body. Almighty has gifted this world. Almighty has given everything out of His mercy. Nothing is owned by you. You cannot claim any right over everything. It is proved when you leave this world. Can you take anything, even a single dust? If you leave this world, can you take even a pinch of dust from this world? No. You cannot take anything. You have to leave everything in this world. It shows that they are not owned by you. God only owns them, everything. Everything He owns. He is allowing you to use them for a certain period. He is allowing you to be here for a certain period. You have been brought down here. You have been asked to live for a certain period. That is why it is printed in that period. How long you are going to be here. It is predetermined. It is predetermined. Once you come here, the project, the combo has been decided. How long you are going to be here? What is your schedule? What are you going to suffer? What are you going to enjoy? All those details in the schedule, and how long you are going to be here, that is column, and how are you going to reap everything. Everything is planned and you are being sent here. But even though the schedule is there, how you are going to behave, how you are going to take the things, how you are going to treat them, that is in your hands. That is in your hands. So you can shape your next birth. You can project your next birth by living now in this world. So the Almighty, you just think of, He has given the life. He has asked you to live here. He has asked you to plan yourself. He has asked you to understand that why you are here. You are here for a noble purpose, to remove the darkness in your wisdom. You are here to purify your wisdom. That is why you are here. That we must not forget. We are forgetting everything. Why the student is sent to the college? To educate himself, to study, not to play or to do mischiefs in the school. But students forget themselves, forget the noble purpose. They may be wasting their time, they may be playing, they may be doing all sorts of mischiefs and losing the purpose of the education. Likewise, we have come to this world To remove the darkness in our wisdom, God has given this birth. We must understand it and we must make it useful. But like a mischievous student, we are wasting our time. We are doing all sorts of mischiefs. We are earning so many things which are going to be left after we leave this world. We are going to leave it back, isn't it? Why we are suffering so much to earn all these things to after all we are going to leave them here. We are not going to take even a penny from here. But it may be funny if I am describing this thing. It may look funny, and people will think who are not enjoying this world. They will say he is not smart. He is wasting his life. But who is smart? Who is funny? Everything will be decided when you leave this world. Once you leave this world. If you are going to enjoy this world and if you are going to forget the noble purpose of visiting here, then the whole life is a wasted one. Of course, God will not leave you. Since you have wasted your life, do you think that God will abandon you? Will give up the project? No, as far as you are concerned, He will not leave the project. He will put you in a more stringent birth, where you will learn the things. Because you are not able to understand the value of the human birth, then you will take a birth of some more. There are so many things in this world. I don't want to mention them. I am about to say, but I don't want to mention them. Let me restrict my words. There are so many births are here which are we don't like them. We don't mean them. So many births are here. Take for example the birth of a dog. Since its birth till its death, every day is a problematic day for the dog. Does it have a peace? I am talking about the stray dog. That is also living here for a certain period and leaves this world. We are also living this world for a certain period and leave this world. What makes the difference? What makes the difference between these two lives? One doesn't have any purpose, the other one should have some purpose. What purpose? Earning a lot of money, earning a lot of wealth. What is the use? Whatever you earn, you are going to leave here. They are not going to come with you. So when you leave here, you must take something which is going to help you. You must take something which is going to help you. So again and again, I am pivoting my discussion. The Almighty's project. The Almighty's project. Almighty has set up a project to liberate the souls out of the suffering, and He is helping. If the patient is not understanding the doctor's help, it will never come out of its disease. If the soul doesn't understand the help extended by the Lordship or the Almighty, it will not be liberated from the anavam or from the suffering. The cooperation of the patient is very much required for its speedy recovery. Likewise, the soul should understand that strategy behind the life, the purpose behind the life, the purpose behind the human birth, it should understand, and it must make the life useful. So the Almighty is impartial. Have any bias over any soul. He is offering so much of things to all souls in par, at par. At par He is giving all the helps. You must understand the Sukshama body, the body that processes all the details or all the senses outputs, all the senses outputs, it is offered, gifted directly by Lord Shiva. Whereas the external body, the transducers, I told you, isn't it? The human the visible body, it is being taken out from the universe itself. That is why it can be compatible with the universe. So the universe is made up of some materials. Out of those materials, the human body or any body, not only human body, the external body, the visible body is made out of those things which are the constituents of the universe. You take the universe, any object is made up of the basic 5 elements, is it not? Likewise, the human body is also made up of 5 elements. The body of the dog, the visible body, is made up of 5 elements. 5 பூதங்களினால் ஆனதுதான் உடம்பு. எந்த உடம்பா இருந்தாலும், any body made out of 5 elements. Why? Because then only it will be compatible. As far as Sukshma body, inside body, which is processing the data offered from the visible body, is one and the same for all souls. God is biasless, impartial. So the Almighty, He has taken up a very big project to help the souls. There is only one Almighty. His power is enormous, and at the same time His mercy is also enormous. His bliss is also enormous. He is ready to offer the bliss. He is at the delivery end. The soul should shirk off its darkness from its wisdom. It cannot do so by itself. That is why God is coming over to help it. Since the souls are inactive in the darkness, in the grip of the darkness, the Almighty offers external tools to make the soul to be active. Once the soul is active, it starts using the tools offered to them. The soul offered with some tools, and once it understands the external tools are offered for us to use, they will be starting using them, and they will be experiencing getting out of their actions. They will run, they will walk, they will eat, they will see, they will hear, they will do everything using the tools. Now understand, using the tools. Without the tools, it is not at all active. If the tools are not connected to the soul, soul is inactive. In sleep mode, soul is inactive. Why? The tools are temporarily disconnected. Once the external tools are disconnected, the soul becomes inactive. Once the respirator, external ventilator is disconnected, the patient is suffocating. He is finding it difficult to breathe. What the doctor will do? Again he will attach. There should be a stage. Even without a ventilator, the patient should be able to breathe easily and freely. Till that time the ventilator is required. Likewise, the soul should be active without the help of the external tools. Till that time, the external tools, the births will be given to the soul continuously. They are given by the Almighty. Souls are taking the births because they are not able to breathe freely. They are not able to be active. So once they are active, once the souls are active, without the external tools, that is the bodies. Why I am mentioning it as bodies? Because there are 5 basic bodies I have explained already. Without them, if the soul is unable to be active, then the births are required, the bodies are required. After worn out, after the body is worn out, a new body is given. Likewise, the births are continuously happening. The souls are going under the process of getting births, deaths, poku, varavu. They are going on in the cycle of births because they are not active without the help of the tools. Once the soul becomes active even without the help of the tools, then the final day comes. If it can be active without the use of the tools, then we can understand that the darkness in the wisdom has been removed. It has not been destroyed. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It has become inactive. The darkness has become inactive. So the wisdom now gets active. It is active by itself. Now it cannot use to experience in this world. It cannot be used to experience it. The external world is useful only for the external tools. If the external tools are dispensed with means, then the soul will not, the whole universe will not be useful to soul at all. It cannot use the soul because the soul's wisdom is now pure. And now it has to enjoy only the bliss of Lord Shiva, the Almighty's bliss. He is ready to yield, he is ready to give. And now the soul's wisdom is also ready to receive it. It is in full joy mode. You understand? Once the darkness is removed from the wisdom of the soul doesn't require any tools at all. It doesn't require external tools, means it doesn't require any births. Birth means what? The soul is being offered the external tools. Some tools are permanent, some tools are temporary. External tools, some of them are temporary, some of them are permanent. So the temporary tools are often changed. That is called the birth. So birth after the birth, we are getting new tools, we are getting new births, we are doing new things, we are getting new experiences, and in the process we expect that the darkness in the wisdom of the soul should fade away. It should become thinner and thinner. It should become thinner and thinner. It should be leaving layer after layer. It should be thinning down like a soap. Layer after layer being removed, and it has to be thinned down, and lastly it will come as traces. And finally, the soul will be fully out of the grip of the darkness. Once the darkness has been fully removed, then the soul doesn't require any contact with the universe. Now it is free, it is pure, it is qualified to receive the bliss of Lord Shiva. The Almighty expects that day for every soul. It embraces the soul. It offers the bliss. And the soul never leaves the Almighty, and it enjoys the bliss. Every single, there is no time at all there. Time boundary is not at all there. Time limit comes only when the soul is offered with external tools, because they will be worn out after some time. So that is why the time scale is fixed. Time comes only for a birth. If you become birthless, then what is the necessity of a time? It's only an imaginary tool. Time is only an imaginary tool. So likewise, the project of the Almighty has been discussed. It is a very big project. He has come forward to help the souls out of their sufferings. We must understand what is the project, what is the actual project of God, why He has given us this birth. We may be compared ourselves to the patient in a hospital taking treatment, or a student taking lessons in a school. Whatever way you may compare, but the only thing you must understand that we are being subject to treatment. This treatment is for the sake of us, not for the sake of others or for the sake of God. God is not going to get anything out of this project. That is why we attribute the reason for His action as His bliss, His mercy. Nothing else can be attributed as the reasons. What can you say? What is going to benefit out of us? What is going to get out of us? We are going to give Him some garlands. We are going to offer some camphor. We are going to offer Him some naivedyam. And He is not going to consume. Again the end user will be only us, isn't it? Those are not the things that will convince or satisfy the Lord. The only thing that will satisfy the Lord is if you are able to understand the total project, why you are being here. If you are able to understand, that is the biggest puja that you can ever do for the Almighty. Do every blessed day the Almighty. Pray before Him. Oh Lord, I know why I am here, why you have sent me here, why I am here, I know. You are what you expect out of me, I know. I will try to fulfill your expectations. That must be your prayer. Okay, with this, I want to conclude today's session. The chapter 2, the Part-1, the Almighty. I think we can continue this part 2 in the next class. The same topic, the Almighty, chapter 2. We will continue. We are yet to discuss so many details in this chapter. I have to thank Mrs. and Mr. Saravanan Qatar. They have made it possible. I do not know how many people are going to get benefit out of these sessions, but I am trying to explain these things. These things are not fully available in English. I am trying to explain them as much as possible, because the colloquial, the technical terms, that is a very difficult part of it. For example, human body, let us take. இது தூல சரீரம், சூட்சும சரீரம், அதிசூட்சும சரீரம், காரண சரீரம். There are no terms in English for all these things. We have to coin out some terms for this. Otherwise, we have to use the same term as in Tamil. Thula Sariram, Thula body, Sushama body. Likewise, we have to use. That is the difficult part of it. Anyway, we will overcome all the difficulties when we will try to explain things. I think that the other part, the Almighty's grace, His mercy will make us understand and will make us make use of these sessions. So once again, I thank the Qatar couple. They have been dedicating so many things, and they are trying to make this project most useful to many people who are beginners, and at the same time, some of our children are not having good knowledge in Tamil, and they are not very knowledgeable in Tamil. They may be talking in Tamil in their families, but their school curriculum will not include the language Tamil. So that is why they are insisting these things are to be taught in English also, so that we make them interesting, we make them more attractive to the children. The sessions, we make them more attractive to them. Anyway, we are trying to pull them up to our project. Once again, I thank you who have been listening to these sessions. I thank you, and we are going to be blessed by the Almighty, and we will continue our sessions in the next session, that is on, I hope it is on 12th September, Saturday at 12 o'clock. We will again meet and we will continue our discussion. Let me conclude the 5-lettered mantra with Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Tiruchitram. Let Lord Shiva bless us all. Thank you. Tiruchitram.